Well, this video kind of goes over how I obtained this car, the 78 Cutlass. Basically, I bought this from a friend of mine's dad back in, I think it was 1988, the fall of. It was originally tan with a tan interior, as you can see by the dash and door panels. I think I paid $500 from his dad. It was pretty rough then. Originally had a 305 4-barrel in it. I think it was a metric 200 transmission. But got it. And my oldest brother and I, well, actually more him, he rebuilt a 350 for it, small block Chevy, and a turbo 350 transmission, and we put it in the car. And then I think he worked at a service station at the time, and we went and put dual exhaust on it. It still had manifolds and had a small like RV towing type cam in it. The funny thing is that engine is actually in the 67 Malibu, engine and transmission, so it still lives on all these years. But I had this car, and then my other brother painted it the black and silver because I wanted it to look like a Hearst Olds. And I think I drove it, started driving it the next spring, and when I graduated from high school. We didn't, and then I think it had like the factory rally wheels on the front that I had just spray painted black, and then I had some like Krager SS's on the back that were like 10 inches wide with some old Pro Track 50 tires. And I drove it around like that. And well, then I think in that summer I sold it to a friend of mine who he redid the rally wheels and put them on it, fixed it up, put headers on it, and it ran, I think, in the 14s, mid to low 14s at the time. And then I can't remember how long he had it, but he ended up trading it to my other brother that's just a few years older than me for a 74 Camaro he had. And my brother had it for maybe a year before he sold it to another person who bought it for his son, who drove it, I think, several years like that. And actually, when my brother had it, he redid the interior, and he had the seats all redone and headliner put in it and everything like that. But anyway, back to the guy's son. He drove it up until he started going to college, and then he had issues with the driver's door. The hinges were worn out, so the door was sagging, so the door wouldn't close. So he parked it. They ended up parking it out in their backyard, and I think it sat out there for like 14 years. And then one day the father shows up when I was out in the driveway working on my truck and asked if I was interested in it, and I asked him if he wanted to buy it or how much he wanted for it, and said, if you want it, you can come out and get it and just get it out of my yard. So basically got it back for free. Well, sitting all those years, it ended up being a mouse house. So basically the whole interior was destroyed. That's why it ended up the way it is now. I basically trashed everything. The seats in it now are out of I think maybe a 90s Sunbird And I had the roll bar put in it and a 9-inch Ford rear end housing set up for the style. Anyway, in my quest to make the car lighter, I've kind of gutted a lot of stuff out of it. I see anybody that knows these will see that a lot of the fender bracing is gone. And I kept it so I could use the hood hinges still, and even like the hood bracing, I cut all that out. I have it marked in here how much the hood weighs now after cutting it. Still 40 pounds. It's still a steel hood. This car actually came with an aluminum hood, but my friend that had it, I think he got in an accident with it and wrecked most of that. And see, I made the radiator support for it out of square tubing, and that's just supported, so the car shakes a lot. The doors actually are, I think I used a hole saw on the insides of them and drilled them out. Drilled a bunch of holes in them to lighten them up. The door bars, the crash bars, are missing. Them were like around 15 pounds a piece. Even the trunk lid, I cut that all apart. Since when I had the roll bar installed, they removed the torsion rods that help support the trunk lid to hold it up. So, and then again, when I mini tubbed it, I ended up cutting the trunk hinges out. As you can see, that's upside down, but what it was before I cut most of the bracing out was 45 pounds, and now it's 33 pounds. But I have some Lexan that I might use for the side windows and the doors, or door windows, I guess. But it's just kind of an overview of where the car came from and how I did it. Like, I guess even, I don't know, you can see that the bumpers I cut them down. I cut and moved them back, got rid of the bumper fillers, or the metal panel that was in there, and you can see the bumper shock is removed. I actually cut the frame rail, and I welded slid this in and welded it together. It had aluminum bumper support on the back. I cut that all up, and even the rear bumper is the same way. I didn't cut the bumper itself, but I cut the shock back and the aluminum support out of there, just so it has enough to hold it in place on both sides. And push the bumper in closer. As you see, there's no fillers in there. Well, most of the taillights still work and brake lights still work, but the headlights don't. You know, it still has the glass headlights and the turn signals in there. I removed the headlight harness because it was all chewed up from mice. I think some of it's still kind of tucked in here. I got some wiring that I was going to hook it up so it would have headlights and turn signals eventually, but I haven't gotten to that. But yeah, I put the 455 Pontiac in it because that's what I had. I actually took this out of my 69 GTO and put it in here. And that car's a kind of another story that goes off of this, because when I originally sold this car to my friend, I bought the GTO. So that might be another video. I'll do a story on that one too. But thanks for watching.